Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of Ask Coach Marie. I'm Marie O'Neill, founder of Padma Life Coaching, and your host on this series. This is the place where you ask a question, and I give my unique opinion as a life renewal coach, astrologer, and past life regression facilitator. Each week on Fridays, a new video is released with me answering 2 questions from the viewers. In addition to those 2 questions, I talk about various other life renewal topics. Before we get started, would you please do me a favor and hit the like button and the subscribe button so that this video can be caught by the algorithms and go out to a wide audience. All right, let's go ahead and get started with the questions for this week. Our first question comes from Chloe, who is in Seattle, Washington. Chloe writes, I recently got a promotion I worked hard for, but now I constantly feel like a fraud, like I'm going to be found out. How do I deal with this nagging imposter syndrome and feel more secure in my new role? Very good question, Chloe. Thank you for asking it. When we get new jobs, a lot of times we have what's called imposter syndrome. A lot of times it's because we feel that we don't have enough skills. We feel that we are going to be found out, that we don't have the skills and maybe let go or talked about or ridiculed. It's perfectly natural, especially if you are doing a job that you haven't done before, if you don't have a lot of life experience with that job, or for that matter, if you've just graduated from college and, you can feel a bit unsure about the work that you're being asked to do. One of the things that you need to know is that most people want you to succeed. The people who hired you or the person who hired you, they're not stupid. They know what you're potentially capable of. They may also know that there are some skills that you don't have, but that you can learn on the job. Being nervous and having imposter syndrome is normal. At the same time, be sure to continue learning and being curious in your new position. When I'm referring to being curious, I mean asking questions, I mean doing research on projects to make sure that you have the correct information, never assume anything, be open-minded, be curious with learning and growing and development. And over time, your confidence will improve, it will increase, and the imposter syndrome will dissipate. I hope that answers your question, and congratulations on the new job. Send me a note or put a comment below in the comment section, letting me know how you're getting on with your new job. All right, we are going to talk about building resilience to stress. That is the topic for today. And the reason that I have chosen this topic is because what I'm seeing is a lot of people dealing with stress and having difficulty figuring out how to work with it. One of the things that you do have to do with stress is do your best to self-nurture if you can. And when I say self-nurture, I mean you want to be able to stop and relax a little bit, breathe deeply, so that it makes it a little easier to deal with it. The other thing with stress, if you are able to look at the stressors, say it's stress at work or it's stress at home, or maybe it's both, you want to look at the things that you can control. Are there actions that you need to take? Then come up with a plan to actually take those actions and implement them. If it is stress related to wanting to know the outcome of a situation, there is absolutely no way for you to know the outcome of a situation. You have to do the best that you can and be open to whatever occurs, whatever the outcome is. One of the things with stress, if you can understand that stress really doesn't serve a purpose, what you have to do is know that the outcome for whatever it is that you're working on, it's determined by your actions, of course. And it's also determined by other people's actions. So the stress, if you can self-nurture, if you can figure out what you can control related to the issues that are causing the stress, and just control those issues and just let go of the outcome. Those are going to be some of the best ways to deal with stress. The other thing is, break it down into small bite-sized pieces, the stress. If you're stressed about a test, then you want to do your due diligence, of course, with studying, but you don't want to overstudy. You want to make sure that you don't study on the day of the test. You want to do self-nurture so that you can be relaxed. I find that relaxing is one of the big keys to working with stress. Relaxing the shoulders, doing an exercise class, going for a walk, talking to a friend, all of this will help to dissipate the stress. All right. That is our topic for today. Please comment below and let me know how you work with stress. Our next question for today comes from David, who is in Miami, Florida. And David writes, I know I need to eat healthier, but I always fall back on grabbing junk food, especially when I'm stressed or tired after work. What are some practical tips for making healthier food choices consistently stick? Good question. One of the things that you really need to do is prep food. Be prepared. If you can go to the grocery store and have everything that you need in the house to cook, that is going to make it much easier. Here's something that I like to do. And that is, if I know I'm going to have a really busy week, not only do I have the food in the house, I've already prepped the food ahead of time. So when I say ahead of time, I mean before I'm going to have a lot of activity that is going to take my time, so that when I finish with that activity, the food is already there. If you are someone who eats out a lot, you can do that, but it's always a good idea to have a couple of restaurants in mind before you are stressed or have a really busy week. Have a list of healthy restaurants available. And if you can look at the menu, which you can online, if you can look at the menu before you write your list and just write down a couple of healthy choices available on that menu, that's going to make it much easier for you to select those choices when you go to the restaurant. In addition to that, you can always order food and have it delivered to the house. You can do that with the restaurants or fresh food companies will deliver healthy food to you. But my suggestion is to prep as much as you can. Enlist the help of the family or friends, for that matter. If you have a friend who is willing to cook double batches, healthy food, and share this with you, that will help you. Making sure that when you get up in the morning, you have a good, healthy breakfast so that you aren't going to snack during the day, because a lot of times it's the snacks that get us. And also when we're really hungry, we just grab whatever and eat. I'm guilty of this too, by the way. If I don't prep ahead of time, I end up not eating as healthy as I'd like to. Now, I do have restaurants that I go to that are pretty healthy. I don't always choose the most healthy item on the menu. However, I do my best to do that. Fish is always good. Chicken is always good. But anyway, that's enough on that. Send me a note and let me know if this is helpful, and let me know how you're getting on with this. I really do want to know how you are managing this situation. All right, we have come to the end of the video for this week. I thank you for listening to this YouTube video. Please be sure to like and subscribe, as I said at the beginning of the video, so that it can go out to other people and be shared with a wider audience. If you would like to learn more about me, please go to one of the online bookstores and get my book, And the Lotus Opened, a memoir. In this book, I talk about the journey that I took to work through a lot of the traumas that I've had to deal with. I not only talk about how I work through them, it's really a method that you can use for your own journey. If you'd like to learn more about the services that I offer or sign up for a reading, go to my website, padmalifecoaching.com. You can sign up for a reading. You can learn more about astrology, life coaching, about past life regression, and you can send me a note about those services through the website. Thank you very much for being here, and I look forward to seeing you back here next week. Bye-bye.